I'm ready.
The views expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. Co-hosting with me is none other than cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rosal Gilmore. Hello, Rosal.
Hello, Lady ReShell. Hello, Warriors Talk. Good evening. Thanks for another Relationship Fulfilled Monday.
We have a very good topic today. It is, are Black mothers the reason that Black men date outside of their race? And we are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from Roman with the Drive at 5. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. The show is being sponsored by Emanuel Church of God in Christ, located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago with Pastor Michael Richardson. And we are still practicing social distancing, so you can catch the Word of God every Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m. on the Facebook page, Emanuel Cogic. Our relationship quote of the day is, wait for the one who would do everything to be your anything. You know what? I said that backwards. Wait for the one who would do anything to be your everything. That sounds good.
I like that.
For everyone who's tuning in on any type of social media, please like, share the show, invite somebody else in on the show. Don't be afraid to comment, because we do read the comments. Again, our topic is, are Black mothers the reason Black men date outside their race? Now, I heard a stat today that said if all Black men marry only Black women, there will still be 2 million Black women that are not married. So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, like, okay, ladies, we need to probably open up. You need to start opening up your eyes, because with this topic that we have today, it kind of cuts or take away some of the men that we might have had our eyes on. So according to statistics, it says 70% of Black women are unmarried and are twice as likely as white women to remain unwed. Of those who do marry, the Black women are more likely to marry down. As Black women, we in college, and we outnumber the men in college 2 to 1. So Black women we are impacted by interracial marriages. For those Black men who do marry outside of the race is 24%, and women who marry outside of the race is 12%. So let's get going with this topic. What are mothers doing to these Black sons of theirs? And I don't want to, let me just say this. Let me put my disclaimer out there. I don't want this to be a blame show, like we're blaming anybody, right? So we're not blaming anybody. Don't get offended. Our opinions are not of Intellectual Radio or of my sponsor. So let's just set that straight. All right, Rosal. So what's going on with this topic? Are Black mothers the reason that Black men are dating outside of their race?
No, I don't think so. We can't blame the mothers. If I believe any true mother is going to say, you can't help who you fall in love with. And that's any color, whether it's dark green, light green, white, Black, or brown. I think they're pushing the fact that you love who you love and just love her correctly. So I don't think that it's Black mothers who are pushing our Black men to date outside their race. Now, it could be something when it comes to Black women who are pushing Black men to date outside their race. Now, that could be a fact.
Okay, before we go there, I was just thinking about being at home, and I don't remember my parents ever saying, I want you to date within your race. Like, we never had that conversation at home. Yeah. So I would say, for me, I would say no as well, because I never had that conversation. And then I asked my son the same thing, and his answer was like, no, my choices have had nothing to do with you when it came to, when it came to dating. He chose someone he wanted to date.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to matters of the heart, you're going to choose who make you happy, or someone that's going to tolerate you or put up with you, and vice versa. So, yeah, I don't think it's black women. I don't think they're raising their children to say, look, you need to date this nationality or this race, or, this person, that person. I do think they do that in the Indian culture, though. If you notice, they don't date outside their race.
Yeah.
They keep it tight.
Well, I heard that Asians, they support dating inside your race. Jewish support dating inside of your race, as well as the Mexicans. They push it, but everybody don't always follow that. Everybody wants, sometimes it depends. Sometimes, people go off to college and they are around a diverse group of people. So, you come in contact with people, and like you said, your heart, sometimes you can't even control that. And then you come home and be like, Ma, look who I'm dating. They're like, what?
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Right. Like, what do you do with that? So I do think that I was trying to think about like some of the actions that maybe Black moms do in the home that, one guy said that what are Black mothers doing that causes a rift in between the mother and the son, that he would go out and get someone that looks nothing like her or acts nothing like her. Like, he was trying to make it seem like it was the mother's fault.
Well, I think that comes into play with, I asked this question to a couple Black women who are mothers, and they kind of said the same thing, that it's not the mothers, it's the women. So they gave me 3 things to go on, and we'll break them down and discuss them here tonight. The first one is Black women expect too much.
Black women, y'all expect too much.
Look, I'm only repeating what they said. Don't come at me. This came from a Black woman. She said Black women expect too much, and it pushes the Black man away to go and, see what's on the other side of that race, see what it's about.
Did they give you any details, like go into details of what we expect? Like what it is that we're expecting that's like, oh my goodness, that's just, asking for too much.
Well, they did give details, and when they ask for too much, they want Black men and women to be equal. Because, women are more so the go-getters, not saying that men aren't, but they're the go-getters. So if I'm, working 2-3 jobs and I'm maxing out at $75,000 a year, she said, I want my man to do the same thing. I need him to be maxing out. There needs to be that balance between us. I don't mind that I make more money, but long as he's striving to do better, to be better, and it's my job as a queen to make him more than what he is. So Black women are expecting the man to, it's not like the old days where our mothers and father, the man, he provided, he took care of the house, he paid the rent, he paid the PS&G bill. She had her little money, she took care of whatever. You don't have those type of partnerships nowadays. Nowadays, everybody's looking to see as a come up or what they can get out of a person. Or if this person is doing well or they think they're successful, then they're trying to ride their coattail. So those women, they expect, the man to really step up and do more than what he's doing. Like, hey, if you want this, then you really got to take care of me. And I guess the Black man is like, nah, we ain't doing that. Then she compared herself to, a lot of men, they have the bodies. These young girls, they got the bodies and they wearing all this clothing and all this and that. And then the ones who are, who has the great professions and they're looking, just plain Jane and tomboy, we overlook those women because we want the video vixens and all of that.
You know what? I think some women go on what they see in the media. We see all of these women getting these surgeries. They're getting their butts done. They're getting the breasts done. They're getting fillers in their cheeks. And we're seeing all the men flock to these women. So we're like, okay, how can I look like these women? Because those are the women that the men are flocking to. So we try to have these same standards, like, okay, you got to bring the bag, when we don't even have a bag ourselves, but we want you to bring the bag, and we want to be equal partners with you. Like, we want to both hold the same weight when, God didn't intend it to be that way. So sometimes you just have to, I think at the beginning, you have to sit down and talk about the roles that both of y'all are going to play in the relationship, because we don't do that at the beginning. Then both of us think we playing the same role. We both wearing the pants because we haven't sat down. We haven't had that talk about who's going to do what.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not seem like, oh, well, that should come naturally. We already know what roles they play. Sometimes you have to have that talk.
Well, not in this day and age. And I was listening to you put out the stats about 2-to-1, in Atlanta, it's 5-to-1. It's 5-to-1 in Atlanta. But, I can't even, this show is PG-13. I can't say what I need to say about those Atlanta boys. But if you know about Atlanta, then you probably know what I'm talking about. So that number may even change.
Yeah, and that's scary in itself. I think if women look at it like that, if they look at the stats, then they will kind of understand, like, okay, I know what's going on. So we're losing men to different races. We're losing men to guys. Then you got the guys that are in jail. And so it's like, okay, it's cut down to what? We almost at what? 0% when it comes to men. And when the statistics said that it was still 2 million women left that wouldn't even be married, even if all the Black men married them, it's like, okay, so women, what does that say to you when you hear that? Are you still going to be like, okay, I'm just going to wait for my Black king to come because, I want to marry Black and have my Black kids, and we're gonna keep it all in the family? It's like, okay, well, you gonna be waiting, or you gonna be you gonna have an open relationship with somebody and their wife and their husband, because you're not gonna have one.
Well, that's the thing. I hear a lot of women saying, oh, I'm waiting for my king to find me. Nowadays, you got to put yourself out there to be found if he's going to find you. Just sitting and waiting. Who was that? Was that Rapunzel? No. One of them waited for so long, and, next thing you know, they just bones and ash. So you need to put yourself out there. All that wait, you can't do that nowadays. You can't do it nowadays. So number 2, what was brought to my attention on this list was when you put pressure on a man, he runs to a weaker female.
Hold on, because you preaching right now. Hold on. Did you hear that, Wanda? Repeat that.
When you put pressure on a man, he runs to a weaker female.
Because he don't want to hear all of that. He don't want you challenging him to do this, to do that. He wants to be able to do what he do, and you not fuss at him. Why you doing that? And you going through his phone. You said you was going to come home. He want to be able to do what he got to do, and you be like, okay, he's home. He's taking care of the house. The bills are paid. I'm not going to bother him. And you kind of intimidated about what he's doing, so you're not going to rock the boat because you don't want stuff to be messed up with the both of y'all got going. That's just so crazy.
Well, the thing is, what are you not doing that you got so much time on your hand to be worrying about what he doing? Like, come on. Like, and you're absolutely right. No man wants to come home after working, say, 12 hours a day, dealing with people or dealing with whatever he's doing. He's tired, he's sweaty, he's ready to take a shower, he's ready to eat. And then he got to get home and go for round 2 with you because you feeling insecure, or you feeling a little intimidated, or you're not confident, or whatever the case is. Like, that's tough. That is really tough.
They don't even want to come home. I heard the one guy said, the guys that are happy at home and they want to go home, when they done doing what they have to do, they run home. Okay, man, I see y'all later. I got to go. The other guys be like, man, I don't feel like being bothered with her right now. Like, I don't even want to go home.
You want to go have a drink?
He was like, soon as he get to the door, he like, the woman like, get these kids. I've been here with these kids all day. I've had these.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like, wow. So now the man, he don't even want to go home because of that.
Yeah, because as soon as he walked through the door, you about to hit him with some bull, beep.
Some crap.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go back over it. So we said number one was Black women expect too much.
Black women expect too much.
Okay, now what was the second one? I just wanted to hear you say it.
Second one, when you put pressure on a man, he runs to a weaker female.
But what does that say about the man not wanting pressure to be up? He runs when he's under pressure. Like, what does that say about that man? Like, you running, you don't want to be challenged. You are not up for a challenge. What does that say about do I even want a man like that that's going to run when he's under pressure? Because if something goes down in the household, I'm looking for you to take care of it, and you looking like, oh no, I'm gonna let her handle this. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna stay out with my boys until it's over. And I've been through that. I've been through, oh, she gonna handle it. She always handles it. She gonna find a way to handle it. And I'm just gonna go over here until she handle it, because she gonna handle it. I've been through that. And it's like, that's a turn off. So now I'm turned off by you. I don't want you touching me. None of that. Because to me,
oh Lord, here we go.
less and less of a man when I gotta handle man stuff. I'm just saying.
But we've had this discussion. You got a lot of women who put themselves in men's shoes, trying to be the man in the relationship or the marriage. And that right there is tiring, exhausting, trying to get you to stay in your place, stay in your lane. Stop trying to go past the white lines. Keep your butt over there. Your double lines, stay there. No passing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See, number 3.
Okay.
The woman always wants to be competition.
With who? With him?
With him.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
It becomes like a competitive race between the two. Who's going to get there first? Who's going to do what first? Who's this and who's that? Men sometimes get turned off by that. So I can see why they go to another race, because you don't get those type of headaches from the other races. Not that I know or anything, but I do got friends and they do tell the story, so I do hear about it. But in some cases, certain instances, they are correct.
Okay, so you just said a mouthful. Okay, so women, stop competing with your man. I mean, we're supposed to be each other's cheerleader. You're supposed to be cheering him on, not competing with him. We should not be competing. We as a team probably competing with the other people in the world, but we shouldn't be competing with each other. Because if he comes up, then you come up. It's not like, oh yeah, I came up. Yeah, I graduated from college. Girl, he ain't graduated. He got a high school diploma. Yeah, but it's me. But it's like, okay, you married to him. So no, you have to marry somebody that compliments you, date somebody that compliments you, so that you shouldn't be having to compete with your man. You should be celebrating your man. You should be complimenting him and being his best cheerleader, not beating him down because you make more money than him, you have a college degree, you driving this car. No, none of that. It really shouldn't be that way. I wouldn't want to be around you. If I had to hear that all the time, I'd be like, all right, I'm going over here, because all he gonna do is talk about himself. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, men, we get tired of that. I'd rather you not tell me what it is that you've accomplished, so I can actually fall in love for you, because you got a lot of men who are opportunists. If they feel as though that you're doing well for yourself and look like you're doing some things and you're going somewhere, you will have opportunists. They will try to, sweep in and get that come up, as we said, and try to get what they can get from you. So understand about that part, then I can understand about being cautious, because you want to know, what are you here for? So I'd rather not know anything about what it is that you do. Let me learn you. Let me learn what you're about. Let me learn what you like. Let me learn what to do for you, how to cater to all those different things. Let me learn it.
I've always said that women, we talk too much. We tell a man everything. He didn't even ask. We tell him up front everything about us. And then he knows how to treat us. He knows exactly, okay, she says she like a man that's always on time. Guess what? He gonna make sure he always on time. She says she like a man that, has this. He's gonna make sure that he's following those steps, even if it's not what he wants to do. It could be an ulterior motive, but because you have given him the ammo to use against you, you could tell him, oh, my last boyfriend left me because he said I was insecure. So when y'all get into an argument, guess what he gonna say? You so insecure. You'd already told him you was, so he gonna use it. And now you thinking, man, the last guy I was with, he said I was insecure. Now this guy is saying I'm insecure. Okay, what's wrong with me?
Obviously, it must be a pattern there somewhere. Both guys, tell me, you got 2-3 guys telling you that you're insecure. Who's wrong, you or the 3 guys?
The 3 guys.
Somebody got to be telling the truth somewhere.
You're the common denominator in every relationship that you are in. So just take a step back and figure out what happened in that last relationship. Sometimes you can ask the person, okay, what was it that happened in the relationship that you didn't like, or where I went wrong at? They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly what it is. You take that information and you evaluate it and figure out how to move forward in the next relationship versus just blaming everybody else for, things that went wrong.
But that's where they get caught up, because women don't know how to move forward because they look for those logical reasonings and those logical explanations of what happened the last time, that they become cautious and can't move forward now for the future. So now you have this great guy there who's all for you, that's willing to celebrate you, but you can't move forward because you stuck with what you was being tolerated with from the last thing.
You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate and what you don't address. My Leah Simone Mark says, both the man and the woman have a part to play in the relationship. Working together and pouring into each other is key. And it really is. You can't be selfish in a relationship thinking, it's all about me and you wanting the one person to do all the work. It has to be you putting in 100%. Put in your 100%. And then that person will match you. Normally when people see you doing, they're like, oh, okay, she cares. She's treating me with unconditional love. She's doing this. They'll try to match you unless you just got somebody out here just blatantly trying to take advantage of you. Normally a person will try to match you when they see that energy. They'll match your energy.
That's it. And that's all it's all about energy. Trying to find the right person is energy. Just filling their vibe, filling them out. What's bad energy, what's good energy. What you want being done to you. What's offensive to you being done to you. You're going to know those things. So yeah, matching energy is definitely key.
And if you don't want somebody treating you a certain way, then you don't do the things. If he texts you and you want somebody to text you back right away, and you text him back a couple of hours because you playing a game, like I don't want him to think I'm thirsty. So you text him back 2 hours, he gonna think, okay, she must not be that interested in me. She got other stuff going on. So if you match the energy, don't stop playing games. When you go to the person, y'all together, don't play games. If they're playing games, eventually it will come out and you just weed those people out. But don't go there, like Rizal mentioned before. Women, we have these walls up. And it's okay to have the walls, but don't have them to where, nobody can penetrate the walls. Every time somebody comes, they bouncing off the wall, because you're not trying to let anybody in. You got to be able to weed out the bad ones and let the person who is good for you, let them in. And you're not going to know if you don't, get out there and do it. You gotta get out there. They're not gonna, like Rizal said, they're not gonna knock on your door. You gotta go places.
That's right. Nothing gets in, and nothing gets out. So you can tell me all that you want, that you're a good woman and how sweet you are, but I'm not going to know because I haven't seen you, because you haven't let me in and you haven't let that part of you out. So what you saying to me right now is sounding like the teacher on Charlie Brown. It's just wah, 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 wah. Exactly. So don't tell me those things. And then I'll have to ask you, what makes you a good woman? I hear women all the time say, I'm a good woman. What makes you a good woman? That's when they pause and they got to think, because they say, well, I do this and I do that. Well, those may be some things that you're supposed to do, but you're still not telling me what makes you a good woman.
What makes you a good woman? What are you doing that makes you the pick of the litter? Okay. Now let's go over the three, because these were some hot threes. So the first one was,
they look like they got you. You need some water. You might need to sip your water because you look a little parched over there.
Okay, what was the first one?
Black women expect too much.
Black women, y'all expect too much. Y'all got this long list with 50 things on it. And on that list, you only yourself can do 2 things. But you're expecting this man to do all these things. When you're 20, okay, that list can be that long. When you're 30, you start shaving off stuff. Not that you have to settle, okay? Let me get that right. Not that you have to settle for things, but your taste change in men from the age of 20 to the age of 50. I'm 50. So your taste in men is going to change. So your list should get shorter because your taste changes. Your taste should be refined by the time you get 50. And some of the things at 20, you don't even care about. So you should be updating your list. Don't come with this same old list from when you was 20 years old and you're expecting these men out here that we already know that if they marry all the Black women, it's still gonna be 2 million of y'all left. So you gotta be realistic with yourself. Be realistic with yourself. Make a realistic list.
By the time that they 50, by the time that they 40, I think every woman is looking just for those 3 things, because that list done got narrowed down real short. All they look for is loyalty, consistency, and honesty. That's it. Well, the top 3, because I see you digging and searching. We'll just say the top 3. I'm quite sure there's a couple, but that list ain't 20 pages long anymore.
No, and it really should not be. As you're evolving over time, you should be refining your list as you should be refined. So be realistic. Be realistic with yourself. So, okay, y'all want too much. Stop asking all these things that you cannot provide yourself.
Yeah, you need to be able to put it on an index card and keep it moving.
And don't tell
paper.
Don't tell them everything that you're looking for. As I go along, I'll figure it out. Don't just tell him I'm looking for X, Y, Z. No, don't give him that.
But see, you can't even do that. Don't tell him what you're looking for, because if you tell a man what you're looking for, he's going to try to become those things, what you're looking for, and he's not going to be himself. And when he's not being himself, then he has that mask on, because now he's only out for one thing. That is a clear indication right there that he just wants the cookies. And he's not really trying to get to know you. So never tell a man what it is that you like in the man. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Plain and simple. This way you get to see him.
You get to see the true self, the true authentic self. All right, what was the second one? This was my favorite one.
The second one really hits the hammer, hits the nail on the head by the hammer with this one for you, huh? When you put pressure on a man, he runs to a weaker female.
Wow, that one right there is very powerful. And I'm not going to say don't apply pressure, but do it in the right areas. It should be in the right areas. So you should be picking the battles. Whatever comes up, you should be picking your battles. So everything that you go through should not be an argument, should not be you nitpicking or you nagging. You should be picking your battles when it comes to men. And a lot of times we don't know what battles to pick. We done picked all the little ones. So when something big comes, it explodes. And he's like, I'm out of here, because you're doing it. You have to be really strategic about it and be like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna fuss at him about that. Okay, babe, I saw that. All right, I see you. And you just can't stress yourself out, nitpicking at every little thing. Apply pressure when it should be applied on certain things. Pushing him to be better. Apply pressure on that, in a good way. But we want to be. They call us strong females, Black women. And I hate for somebody to describe me that way, but it's not going to take away from who I am, because in some situations I have to be strong. I have to be strong for me, for my girls, in some situations. But when you have a partner, the partner takes some of that weight from you. You don't have to be there all the time. So you have to learn to release it.
But then when you're doing those things that, like what you described, picking and fighting the battles, then you get marked with that whole scenario of a mad black woman. And that's where it began to stem from, because like I said, no man wants to be nagged. You're nitpicking at stuff. And it's like, oh my God, will you just stop? Just leave me alone. Versus they go out and find that Becky over here is much easier. She's easy to talk to. She's taking it all in. She's like, oh my, she's trying to help, the situation. And then you're drawn to that. You're like, she's like that light with a moth. You're like, oh wow, like I didn't even know that this can exist. And then all of a sudden, you're interested in Becky, and you leaving Rashida over here because Rashida is pitching a fit, So yeah, Woo boy, this is rated PG-13. Thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell and your co-host Biz. We're here on Relationship Mondays, and we're trying to crack the code and debunk some situations of everyday life. One being, are black mothers the reason for black men date outside their race? And we said no. But we did say black women could be the reason.
Well, I'm not taking the blame for anybody making their own decisions. Let's just say that. Okay.
The views and opinions. We got to put the disclaimer, the views and opinions.
And this is how I feel. When somebody else makes a decision and somebody else have their own preferences, it's none of my business. I cannot tell you what to do. And stop concerning yourself with decisions that people make that, that they're making for themselves. Don't drive yourself crazy because they're making a decision. It has nothing to do with you. So if somebody has a preference to like Caucasian women, Hispanic women, whatever, that's their preference. Okay, that's one person, less person you have to be bothered with. Let them go. Don't concern yourself with somebody else who does not want you, who does not like you, who's not picking you. Don't pick them. Pick yourself and keep it moving. So I'm going to say I'm not the reason that black men go to another race. I feel like it's their preference and they are entitled to their preference. But own up to it. Don't try and blame other people or try to justify it by throwing black women under the bus or into the fire because you chose to go that route. Go that route and be proud of it. Stand in your truth and don't try to throw us under the bus.
Well, what would make a black queen date outside their race? Because now I was talking with a young lady and we was attempting to date. And she said, well, if it don't work out with you, then I'm just going to start dating white guys. So I don't think she ever did. And things could have worked. But again, it was just that mouthpiece on her. It was that mouthpiece. And it's like, guys can't take my strong personality, but you got to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off, especially if it's somebody that you're interested in or somebody that's going places. Everything is not a test. Don't keep testing his masculinity and if he's going to stand strong in this. And look, be soft pink. That's what I tell her. Be soft pink. You ain't got to be hardcore all the doggone time. Just relax and chill and just let things flow. So what would it be for black women, that point for black women to say, you know what, I'm tired, I'm sick of this, I'm tired of dating they beeps, and I'm going to find me somebody else. I'm going to find this Asian guy or this Caucasian man now. Let me see what that's about.
Well, I've dated outside my race. I dated a Caucasian guy for a couple of years. And let me just say that by far, it was one of the best relationships that I've ever had. And I have never found another guy that treated me like he did. Now, I was young. because I was in my teens. I was young and dumb at the time. And if I knew what I know now, I would probably have stayed with that guy. But me being young and like, oh God, okay, he's Caucasian. And, I was like, I don't even know if this is where I want to go. Like, like black men, I was just beginning to experience black men, and then here's this white guy. But I have never found another guy that has treated me like this man has treated me. I mean, truly treated me like a queen. Never had to even, he was an intelligent white man, had a nice job. I never wanted for anything. And you were like, okay, you was crazy. Yeah, I was young and dumb thinking like, oh, kind of like embarrassed because he was Caucasian and he wanted to go out with me and party and stuff. I'm like, oh God, I'm embarrassed. My friends, he's white. But looking back on it now, I'm like, girl, you was a fool, because he was everything that would be on my list right now. But I was young and dumb. So I would say what made me date him was because at the time he just appealed to me. We was at the right place at the right time. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm sick of black men, so I'm going to date a white. It was just that, we was working together and sparks came off. And
it happens. Those work relationships, they definitely spark up. Like I said, you begin to see things in a person when you start spending some time around them. After some time, it happens, whether they're white, green, you like what you like. You like how he treated you. You like what he was doing for you. You like how you felt. And that's most important. You like that feeling. And anything that you like, you're going to keep going back to it because you like it.
Yeah, I mean, now when I look at it, I look at how, the relationships that I have had, and it's like, I feel like, girl, you just settled. Like you settled for these relationships because they really wasn't, because he set the bar so high and it was like, oh, okay.
So do you think one of the issues is that we have a lot of single family homes, single mother homes, and the father isn't there and the child is being raised by her. So the child doesn't know what a real relationship or marriage is because he hasn't seen one. Because kids imitate what they see. You're modeled what you're modeled from. So do you think that if there was more black kings in a household, that there'll be more of dating inside of our race if the black woman and black man can just plain and simple, if we could just get along?
Absolutely.
And not go along, because that's what I see. A lot of people just go along just to try to get along and hoping that the chips fall where they may and it just works out. And it don't work out like that. There's no connection. There's no chemistry. There's nothing there.
No, absolutely. Like I look at my mom and my dad, they stayed married until my dad passed. So they were married 53 years. And I have 3 brothers. Every single one of them are married to African-American women. Not that they didn't date outside their race, because they did, but they chose to, settle down with an African-American woman. And I know it probably had a lot to do with, my dad and my mom being in the household. They saw that marriage. They saw it, go through the rough times and bounce back and last as long as it did. So I know that the man not being there, the house is not balanced. So the woman is there. She's trying to do the best that she can, but she can't do the job of a mother and a father because she's not built for that. So when the man is not there, then something is lacking. So yes, that child is going to be missing out on seeing, what could be, the foundation that he needs to move on and to select the best mate for them.
Yeah, so this way he can break the cycle. But again, it's the way that I guess it's the way that the other races were brought up, that they know how to treat that woman or that man or whatever the case. And that's why we're drawn to them, because we like that feeling of being treated, of being put on a pedestal or whatever. Not, coming home to Rashida, and no offense to anybody out there named Rashida or whatever, it's just the name I could think of. But, they're going to their mouthpiece again. Nobody want to come home to the mouthpiece, and they just going yapping, womp, 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 womp. And it's like, I wonder what Becky doing, because Becky wouldn't be putting me through this.
Let me just say this. There are some Beckys out here that do the same thing that Black men
Oh,
are
yeah.
doing that women do. So don't walk away from this conversation, listeners, thinking that, that Beckys are the cream of the crop, because they're not, because there are some bad Beckys in this world. So when I talk to my son, because my son married outside of his race, when I talked to him and I asked him, why did he decide to do that? And he told me, he said, men do it because it's something different. It's something different than what they're used to. Some men want to see something different. Men like variety. So, okay, now I've already been with the Black women. Let me just go over here and see what's going on over here. And the high school that he went to, there was, it was a diverse high school. And he said that most of the women that were trying to talk to him were the Hispanic women. The Black women wasn't, trying to talk to him. So that's how he ended up talking to, the Hispanic girl. So it's like, men, he said, some men just want something different. He said it may be a small percentage that has something to do with the mother in the house, but he said it really doesn't affect the man's choice once he goes out and picks his mate.
Oh, yeah. Well, if she's Spanish, they don't count because they like 60% Black anyway. So
they're Hispanic, and they'll let you know that they're different. So they're not the same. And a lot of men try to pass that off. No, they're not the same. They're not the same. They're Hispanic. We're Black. They're Caucasian. There's a difference. They're Asian. It's a difference. He's dating outside of his race. Now I look at my little grandbaby. She looks like a little mixed baby. I mean, and that was his choice to do that. And I didn't fuss at him like, why you didn't choose, a woman that looks just like me. He chose what his heart wanted, or he chose something because he wanted something different.
He chose what made him happy. And that's how you should be choosing anyway. I think you shouldn't be looking at race or anything. Choose what makes you happy.
Some people choose on that. Some people don't. Some people choose on, this man got a lot of money and the money makes me happy. So I'm going to say yes. Because I guarantee you that half of these basketball players and football players, they really don't look like nothing. So if they was out in the community, half of us wouldn't even date them. So they look good because they have money. Money makes you look good. So most African-American men don't feel successful unless they have the white trophy wife on their arms. That's what they say. They don't feel successful. So once they get the white wife, now they feel like they can compete with the Caucasian man. But you can't, because you don't have the Caucasian skin. You just have the Caucasian wife. And you have money, but you would never be able to compete in that world. That's my opinion.
But a lot of the Caucasian men are trying to be like the Black man. They fear us. They definitely fear us.
I don't know. They fear. I don't know if that's a myth, because Black men want their ego, so they think the white man fear them. The white man is not concerned with the African American man because they're already steps ahead of us. We still trying to catch up, so they already know we good. They're not concerned. Trust me. Unless it's something I haven't heard, I doubt it very seriously. That's just my opinion. So, yeah,
Views and opinions of Lady ReShell and Biz are not of Intellectual Radio or the pastor's church.
Right. So I want to talk about self-hatred because sometimes I hear that, some men have this self-hatred about themselves. So they go out and get the women of a different race, just to make themselves feel better because they hate themselves and they feel like society hates them too because of everything that, we've been through as a Black race. So, okay, what would make me feel better about myself? To go out and get what society deems to be the cream of the crop, which is the Caucasian woman.
I never heard that, and I don't even see it like that. Again, I think it's who makes you happy, because obviously there is a lot of myths that, that the Caucasian woman will treat you better than the Black woman. You don't got to go through all of that. It's like they're more so established. Not all, but the majority. But those are myths that us men, what we talk about, what they say in PG-13,
Like I said,
PG-13.
because they're still women, and women are gonna do women things. So just because
Mhm.
you're black, white, Caucasian, no, I mean Hispanic, it doesn't matter. You're still a woman, so you're gonna do women things. And money would make you deal with certain things. And
Oh yeah,
I shut my mouth real quick. You got how many millions in the bank? You think I'm about to complain about you doing some? Okay, see you when you get back, baby. I'm at the store. I'm shopping.
that's right.
Money to the side. So,
We ain't seen enough Tyler Perry movies to know that money is definitely attractive.
money is attractive. I guarantee you, if you put these guys on the street and they didn't have any money, that most of the black women wouldn't even talk to them. We wouldn't. So money makes you do some strange things for that change. It really does. But like you said, wherever your heart leads you, no matter what color they are, if you love them and they make you feel a certain way that you feel like you can't live without, then you be with that person. But don't try to justify it, again, like I said, by throwing black women under the bus. Own your decision. Stand in your truth with the decision that you made. And black women, if you want to secure your mate, open up your selections. There's so many white men out here, so many Hispanic men out here that are attracted to black women. Open up your eyes, get off your phone. Don't be looking mean. Make sure you're smelling good. They love black women. They love this chocolate skin. Trust me, this melanin is popping. And they will wife you up faster than a black man would. They ain't gonna put you through all this stuff. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. But you open yourself up. Stop putting all your eggs into the African American basket. Open it up and allow some of these other men to come in and treat you right. I'm telling you, once you experience it, you're gonna be like, what was I doing? Because it's gonna be unlike another. And that's probably what the black men I feel is like, wow.
All this time I've been messing around with such and such when I could have been over here with such and such and could have been doing here and X, Y, and Z. And now that I know, when you know better, you do better.
You know what I heard? I heard that, white men are the top of they're the top of their pool, right? White men are the top, right? They're smart. They're on top of things. The black woman is on top of her things. She's smart. She's out here taking care of her. They say when the black man and the white woman, when the white man and the black woman get together, it's powerful because both of y'all are smart. Y'all on y'all game. Y'all make things happen. Y'all better get y'all some cream in y'all coffee. I'm telling y'all. Don't go with that, all black men. No, don't. Open yourself up and let your heart go, and I'm not saying that white men and other men don't play games because they do. Yeah. But the game, sniff it out. But if your heart takes you to somebody, then go.
Well, that's the thing. Women got to be a little bit more, they need consistency too. You need to start calling that man back or opening your inbox, especially nowadays where you can't really too much go out on dates like we used to. So you are meeting a lot of people online and so. Open up to seeing what this person is about. I don't think a lot of chances are being given, whether it's the black man, the orange man, the green man, the white, or whatever the case. It's not a lot of chances being given because the women are just so closed. That wall of protection is up and it's like built there permanently.
And I'm not saying don't be guarded. Be guarded. Go out guarded. Let your walls down a little bit. You'll know who to let the walls down for. But you got to get out there. If you don't get out there, you don't get in certain places. If you want to meet a different type of man, go to the golf course. Take some golf lessons. It's going to be Caucasian men there. Hey, go there, play helpless. Can you help me swing? They'll help you. Hey, let's go out for coffee. Okay. Put yourself in places where those men are going to be. Don't go to the club because you already know what's there. You ain't going to find a husband in the club. Don't go there.
That's right. And one of the things I used to tell some of the youngsters in school when I was talking to them in school, if you You got to be able to follow your dreams. If you want to be a movie star, you go to Hollywood. If you want to be a doctor, you go to medical school and take the courses. So if you want that rich guy, you got to go to these rich places. You got to go where your dreams are. So if you want that man that's going to be, now I'm not saying he's the man of your dreams, but if you want him to be this and that, like you said, you're going to find him at the golf course. You know, ain't too many brothers hanging out there. Why you think Tiger gets so? Tiger, look, he the only one out there swinging that thing. Look, he ain't got no competition.
No, zero.
So, you know, why not take up something different? Why not take up golf? Why not take up ping pong or something like that? Not the usual stuff that you're always doing. That's where you learn, you find new people, new things. Because if you run into 9 millionaires, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the 10th one. Because they're going to lift you up to where they at, to their level and what they're doing. So that's what I used to do.
And women, the thing with men is men are not, they don't want you to, men who are not looking for women to support them, they're not looking for, oh, we want her to be this fantastic person where she's doing all these things. You could be working at McDonald's and the man walks in there and he sees something he like, he can wife you up. So that for a man, it doesn't matter that you in this certain place. That's only for women. We want the man to be in these XYZ places. Men, they're not looking for that. They want you to be a woman of integrity. They want you to be loyal. They want you to be consistent, but they're not looking for you to be, oh, she has to be the CEO of this corporation. They're not looking for that because they're going to take care of that. The man's supposed to be, and I know they like, oh, this is not the old days where the man got, yeah, they want that. It makes a man feel good. Let him do it. Let him do it.
Yeah, it's just like that story with what movie is that with Taraji P. Henson, and she was the successful black woman, and Michael Ealy, he was like the waiter, and he didn't want her to see him, but he was working on his dreams while he was working in the place. So she didn't know that she was going to. You never know where you're going to find love. She didn't know that, what he had in plan and where he was starting from. Maybe he wasn't successful at that time, but he was on his way. But again, that's opening up. That's taking those things off your list, that he got to be this and he got to be that. And, us men, we now got to the thing. Don't ask me to take you somewhere and you want this fabulous date that you can't even do for yourself, that you can't provide the same thing. We want to be treated right and all these different things as well.
Okay, give me your final words, Rizal.
Man, ladies, cut it out. See, that's just so I'm about to get on fire. Y'all lucky. Y'all lucky the bell is about to save y'all.
All right, women, here are my words of wisdom. Black women, the next time you think of something beautiful, don't forget to count yourself in that, okay? Join me next Monday at 6 o'clock right here on Intellectual Radio. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Good night, Warriors. See you next Monday.
With Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.
All right, see y'all next week.